Hey guys, it's Caroline, career and leadership coach. And today I wanted to jump in because I just got off the phone with one of my clients that's going through my program. And he was talking about how long he was searching for a job before he signed up with me. And he was looking for a job for 2 long years. Now, what was interesting and why I want to share this story is what happened. So each year, at the end of the year, he was like, right, next year, I'm going to make my move because there is no growth opportunity in my company. So I want to change jobs. I have to change jobs if I want to keep progressing my career. So it became the end of the year and he was thinking like, hang on, nothing is really happening in my industry. And I'm just going to take a break because I worked bloody hard my whole year. And I'm just going to take a break and start looking beginning next year. In the beginning of the year, he saw jobs coming around that looked interesting, but he wasn't ready. He didn't have anything ready to send them. His CV was okay-ish, but he knew he had to really step it up a little bit because the job market is quite competitive, and he could see on each application or job advertisement how many applicants that there already were for the job. So he knew he really needed to stand out in order to cut through. Anyway, March came, April came, the job became really heavy again and busy again. You get down with your head down in the grid of everything and you just postpone. So it came around again, the end of the year, and again, the same thing happened. So I want you, if you take away one thing from this live stream, is that you need to start right now if you want to make a move in your career. And don't be like everybody else, like, yeah, let's take a break. Let's enjoy the festive season. Of course, you can still enjoy the festive season, but start putting together your job search strategy. Now, not a lot of people have a strategy. They update their resume and they just apply for jobs. And that's a strategy. And I can tell you now, that is going to keep you stuck in your job. You're not going to move forward because that is not a strategy. That is a hope idea or hope approach. Like hopefully somebody will see and recognize what I can do and invite me for an interview, and hopefully I will get the job offer. But there is no strategic intent behind it. So what is a job search strategy? And I want to talk in this video about the 5 things you can do in this festive season that are going to make the difference to your job search, even this year or potentially next year if you want to hold up. But at least your ducks will be in a row. You will be ready to go if that ideal job passes because you are prepared. Because the biggest mistake people can make these days is they don't have a preparation. Their resume is not ready, or their resume might be okay. Just send it off, and by any miracle, they get an interview, but they just don't. They're not ready for that, and they don't know how to negotiate the best offer, and so on. And basically, they end up missing out or being stuck in their current situation. So I'm here to help you change that. Okay, so enough about that. What are the 5 steps? The first step you need to do right now is think about your unique value proposition. And yes, if you've been following me for a long time, you will hear me go on and on and on and on about this, because this is so important. Your unique value proposition tells people why they should hire you and not any of the other applicants that they received. Now, here is the reason why that is also important. If you don't know what makes you unique, the other person won't either. Because you need to be crystal clear in your communication, in the way you articulate yourself, what you stand for, what you can bring to the table for another person to recognize that and to see that and to say, yes, that's what we need in this organization and in this role. So your unique value proposition is critical. The best way that I always say to my clients, the story I tell to my clients is like your unique value proposition. It's like building a house. If you say like, let's build a house. And if you have a crooked foundation, your whole house will be crooked. Nothing will fit. The windows you try to put in, the door, it won't fit because it's crooked. So the foundation is the key to really to build a solid house, to have a sustainable solid house. Now that's the same with your career. Your unique value proposition is your foundation, and everything else is built upon that. So that's why it's so crucial to get that crystal clear. And your unique value proposition can't be too generic, can't be too long, can't be overwhelming. It needs to be specific enough without pigeonholing you, and really concise enough so you don't lose people who don't know you and say like, okay, let's wake up because she's still talking. So you need to be very engaging and compelling. So that's the first thing, your unique value proposition. The second thing is that you can get ready this Christmas or this festive season is your self-marketing material. Now, your self-marketing material, that is your resume, that is your cover letter, and that is your LinkedIn profile. Now, your cover letter, it needs to complement your resume. It needs to add to the story. So the two most important parts are your resume and your LinkedIn profile. So it needs to be a congruent story. They need to see the same story. If there is a disconnect, that will confuse people. And a confused mind won't make a decision. If you're confused about buying something, you won't make a buying decision. That's the same about you. You need to sell yourself. So if you're confusing people, then they're not going to be convinced. If they have like 100 other applicants, they're going to choose candidates that aren't confusing. So you need to be as simple and as straightforward as you can be to articulate it to them in your resume and your LinkedIn profile, what it is that you can do. And there is a specific structure about the resume. So I will pop a link below. If you are keen to really work on your resume, you can download this template. This is not your average template. This template talks about the 5 psychological triggers about a resume. So a resume for me has like certain parts, a certain flow to it. It's like the best comparison I can give you is like when you're reading a book or watching a movie, it needs to have certain elements. Because otherwise you just feel like it's disorganized and you feel something is not right. It needs to have a start, a middle, and finish, and it needs to have these components always in place to be a blockbuster or it be a bestseller. So in a resume template, it's a document that sells you, so it needs to have certain components. So download that to get a better idea about what a resume really needs to look like. And your LinkedIn profile needs to be optimized for headhunters, for recruiters, internal recruiters, external recruiters, hiring managers to find it. If your LinkedIn profile isn't optimized, you're missing out on a huge, huge opportunity. So many jobs are absolutely looked or researched for talent on LinkedIn, on that platform. So you need to make sure you have an optimized LinkedIn profile. So that's the second part, is that your marketing material needs to be up to date, and it needs to be not only up to date, actually, it needs to be compelling, and it needs to be capturing and converting. In converting, I mean like they need to see that, and the first thing they need to do is pick up the phone and basically give you a call. Now, the best analogy that I can give about resumes, it's like you have to think about your resume as a trailer of a movie. Now, trailer of a movie, 90 seconds. And based on those 90 seconds, you make a snap decision whether you want to see that movie or not, because you know the quality of the movie, the actors, like whether it's horror, romance, adventure, whatever it is, you make a decision to buy a ticket and to go to the movies to see that movie. And that's the same with your resume. Instead of having the traditional way of writing a resume and just listing all these things that you can do, and I'm sure you can, but Instead of doing that, what I want you is really shift to the new way. And the new way is to make a document that sells you, that is compelling and that is really concise, and that is like a trailer of a movie. Like in a snap second, they make up the decision to pick up the phone and give you a call. And that's what you want to achieve. So that is the second part that I really want you to refine. And then the third part is basically your job search strategy. Like, what are you going to do to raise your profile? Now, most people's job search strategy that includes just applying online and just hiding behind the apply online button on the job boards. And whilst this can be an effective way of your overall strategy, it is by far not the only one. It's really the one that I like to call it, you enter the black hole of doom. Because what happens in that scenario? So imagine you apply just online. You enter the inbox of an HR professional or an internal recruiter or an external recruiter. Now, even though they might be very good at their job, they're not experts like the hiring manager is. So basically, and they receive like all these different resumes. So basically, you enter in those inbox and they just screen. And initially, they screen based on your resume. So they screen on the keywords that they often see from the hiring manager, like on the job description that has been provided. And so basically that's how they cut through all those resumes. And imagine if you have like 150, 300 resumes, they cut that down to a certain number. Let's take 20. And those 20 candidates, they pick up the phone, they call, they qualify to see if the salary fits, why you're looking for the job, why you're motivated to working here, what is your notice period, and so on and so on. So they qualify you. And from those 20, they get a long list of 5 to 10. They send off to the hiring manager. The hiring manager cuts that down to the top three candidates that they want to see. And basically, they end up with those candidates. So you went from between 150, 300 applicants to 3 candidates I see on the interview. Now, that is always going to be, but so that's why I'm saying it's like only one part of the strategy that you need to apply. Another part could be like, how are your networking skills? How is your current network that you can tap into? Can you make your network work for you? Because a lot of people and a lot of my clients that are going through my signature program, the Career Success Program, they have a network, no problem there, but they can't really find opportunities in that network or make that network work for them in terms of getting opportunities from that network. So you have to think about it. Like, can you get something from your network? How are you using them? How are you asking for referrals? How are you converting that to real-time opportunities for you that you can actually go from straight away? So that is one thing. And then how are you being proactive in other ways? And definitely, if you're interested in finding out more, reach out to me and we can talk about different strategies that are specific to your market and to your profile, because every market is different. So the fourth activity that you need to do is brushing up on your interview skills. Now, I give a lot of interview training, and to be honest, it's one of the favorite things I do because you have so many different questions and so many different types of interviews, and we go through all that, we analyze it, and we actually learn. I teach my clients how to navigate the interview process at the best of their ability, how to answer those questions, and how to overcome obstacles. And so that's what I want you to do over this festive season. Is think about it. Like, what are your interview skills? How are you going to position yourself for the next level? Because most of my clients, they are fine, absolutely fine in an interview for the same level of role. But if they want to grow, or if they want to move out to another industry, or if they want something slightly different, then it becomes more challenging. Or when it's a competitive market or whatever, then it becomes more challenging, and then it becomes more important for you to actually master interview skills that are going to get you there. And it's not okay to have okay interview skills, because then you become the second candidate. And nobody wins the prize for having silver or bronze. You want gold. You want to take the job home. So how can you do that? How can you position yourself effectively, and how can you navigate the job interview so that you actually come out as a top candidate? What strategies do you need to put in place there? So, and the festive season is really the best time to think about how you want to start that conversation with people, and how you going to answer those interview questions. And one other big mistake that I see with my clients is when they talk about their interview skills, it's all practical and tactical and executional. So what I want you to do this festive season is really think, what is strategic about what I do? And really don't put that in 2080 anymore, 80% executional, 20% leadership, because most of the time you actually shifted already, but your answers are still like very executional, because you have done that probably, like you can do that with your eyes closed, standing on your head, walking backwards. And that's why it's so comfortable talking about that. But so I want you to make that shift in your answers. And then the fifth and last component is salary negotiation skills. Now, a lot of the people that I work with, they are brilliant in negotiating. They can negotiate terms and conditions, service level agreements. They can negotiate with suppliers, vendors, you name it. They have no problem negotiation. But when it comes down to them, when it comes down to really negotiating for their benefits, for their salary, they downplay it. And they often find that, okay, if I just get a good job, then I prove myself and work harder, and they will see it and reward me. Now, that is not a strategy. That doesn't work most of the time. Like, I only know a handful of people that actually will give a salary increase, or like a bonus to people because of their hard work. Most managers that I've worked with in the past, they won't do that. So you have to make sure that you already have the skills that you need to negotiate the best salary possible for a given opportunity. And I don't mean hardcore negotiation neither. It's not like, okay, you give me this or I'll walk away. You can do that, but in most cases, people don't want to leave a bad taste in their mouth, but want to actually make sure that they are looked after in the best possible way. So these are the 5 things that I want you to do this holiday season or this festive season, so that you are prepared for next year to actually kickstart your career and look for opportunities in the right way. So just to recap again and to close the loop is, first of all, I want you to think about your unique value proposition as a first. Don't do any of the rest if you haven't nailed this one. Secondly, I want you to think about your resume, your LinkedIn profile, and your cover letter to make sure that they are all updated. And actually, let's talk about, it's not just updating them, like just adding a new paragraph about what you're currently doing, because that is not going to work. When I say updating, it's making sure that is a sales document and really like sales brand you, because that's what it needs to do, both in your resume and LinkedIn profile. And then thirdly, I want you to think about your job search strategy, not only relying on the apply online button, but other ways that you can diversify your job search and get a foot in the door, and that you have higher chances to get even an interview for. Then thirdly or fourthly, what I want you to do is like think about your interview techniques and brush them up so that they are not focused on that executional, on that practical, but really demonstrating your leadership capability and what makes you different, that you're confident. Because a lot of people are not confident in the interview as they should be for those senior positions and those leadership positions. And then the fifth thing that I want you to do is basically think about your negotiation skills. And when I say negotiation skills, specifically for your salary negotiation, like how comfortable are you and what do you need to do to close that gap to get at the end of the interview process the best offer and the best money that basically really goes together hand in hand with what you deserve and your capability, because that is what you want to have. I hope that makes sense. And I hope that gave you an idea about the top five activities I want you to do this festive season to get ahead, to be ready for next year, to kickstart your job search and to actually make that a reality. If you say, I'm ready to step up, you do not want to get stuck in your job search. Now, if you are interested in getting help with this, because a lot of people, they will find this already useful and they will say like, great, Caroline, I've got a plan. I know what to do now. Thank you very much. And that's fine. Others will say like, ooh, where do I start? If that is you, book in a call. And on the call, what we're going to do is I'm going to evaluate where you're at the moment, where you want to be. I'm going to help, we're going to identify what the roadblocks are. And probably you already know what the roadblocks are, but we have to be on the same page. And we're going to create a big picture plan about, okay, what needs to happen from there, for your specific situation, for your job market. And then we're going to execute that. And then we're going to discuss like whether you want help implementing that. And then you can say like, Caroline, I want to work with you, or you can actually go away, but it will be the best time you have spent for a long time on your career, really taking a step back and really mapping it all out specifically for you. So booking a call, we're going through that, and I hope this helped. If this really resonated with you and if you found this beneficial, give me a thumbs up, because the more people that give me a thumbs up, thumbs up, the more people that actually can hear my message, and the more people I can help transform their job search and their career. And that is what is most important. And if we are not connected yet, then connect with me, because I strongly believe in the power of networking through LinkedIn. And so connect with me if we're not connected yet. I hope this helped, and have a lovely, lovely day, and I will see you later. Bye.